Yo guys, what's up? It's Adam here, I Can't See the Guy. Right, we're coming to the end now of the Friday the 13th franchise. Of course, I'm reviewing this movie, which came in the year of 1993. In fact, I believe the official release date of this movie came out of August 13th of 1993, and it's the ninth instalment in the Friday the 13th franchise. And it was also considered the last one. The final Friday, Jason Goes to Hell. I just got done watching it moments ago. You know, people kept on telling me to rewatch this movie. I've seen this movie countless times already, and it's not going to make me change my mind about how I feel about the movie. I like Jason Goes to Hell. You know, in my opinion, the worst one in the franchise was Jason X. Okay. And yes, I even like Jason Takes Manhattan more than Jason X. You know, because it's one of those movies where I can watch for a guilty pleasure. I get a kick out of Jason, Jason going to Manhattan. You know, he doesn't take Manhattan. He just goes to Manhattan. But the scenes in that movie that I like, I mean, it's a goofy movie. It's like very weird, over the top. I mean, with its comedic moments, Jason acting like Rocky, punching that guy's head off, kicking the boombox in front of those punks in the Times Square, melting in the sewers, and this movie doesn't explain exactly how Jason came back, but he's back. And like I say, it takes place at the start at Camp Crystal Lake with Jason chasing this woman who was an FBI agent. And she leads him to this SWAT team where Jason gets blown to fucking pieces, by the SWAT team. I'm thinking, wow, that's the way you open up a Friday the 13th movie. Jason getting blown to fucking pieces, you know what I mean? So his brain, his heart, everything's all blown to fucking pieces. Okay. Now, right off the bat, everybody, I'm going to say this right now. I like this movie. I saw this movie in the past, and I didn't think it was a bad movie at all. It's different. I admit that. It's different from what you'd see in your typical Friday the 13th movie. I've looked at other people's reasons as to why they hate the movie, but the fact it's so different, the fact that Jason Voorhees, he's putting his soul into different bodies, and people are possessed by the evil spirit of Jason, it got weird up to the point where they're breaking all the rules, and it was going in different directions I weren't expecting. Even the director said that. But I still think it's a kick-ass, gory, especially gory. This movie is very gory, and in fact, I think it's the most goriest one in the whole franchise. You do get your odd scenes of gore in the other Friday the 13th movies, but this one by far definitely had the best gore. Kane Hodder coming back to play Jason Voorhees yet again, which was a really nice touch. And Jason, in my opinion, this movie is all fucked up yet again. In my opinion, the New Blood will always be the best looking Jason, but I've got no complaints about this Jason. I have to admit, he looks weird from the head. His head's like all bubbly, like as if it's a giant brain, like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the hockey mask melted onto the face, like as if it's like stuck in there, like welded in there. Jason's like in a weird shape, but he wasn't the worst looking Jason Voorhees, in my opinion. But I still admit the New Blood's the best looking Jason. With like the zombie Jason with the ripped clothes showing the flesh, all the wounds from all the previous movies of all the hell that he's been through, showing his spine, showing his ribs and all that kind of thing, But I had a blast watching this movie. Like I said, I just watched it moments ago, and just like all the other previous times when I watched it, I had a great time with the movie. And I could defend this movie all day long. Not everyone's going to agree with my opinions, but this movie review is about me giving my opinions. It's about me giving my own personal review, basically. I'm bulletproof when it comes to hate mail or negative feedback, but I'd still like to hear your thoughts regardless. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to agree with you. But there you have it. So like I just mentioned at the start, Jason's chasing this woman who's an FBI agent through Camp Crystal Lake. She leads him to a SWAT team where he gets blown to fucking pieces, and some of his body is taken to the morgue. Okay, now what's fascinating about this and what's different about this is that Jason can now put his soul, his spirit, into different people. You know, like the guy at the morgue, you know, where he possesses this guy to eat his heart. You know, he's looking at the heart, next minute he's eating the heart. So therefore Jason's now in the body of that guy who ate his heart. Okay, but Jason knows he can't stay in the body for too long, otherwise he become, you know, I don't know the reason why. I mean, he can't stay in the body for too long. And the only way to kill Jason this time is through a dagger that you have to stab into Jason's heart in order for him to be killed off whatsoever. But there's still a road this movie takes, you know, where they introduce him to his half sister and the infant daughter, you know, like in a bloodline. You know, he needs to transfer his soul into like a bloodline member. You know, that's the only way Jason can get fully resurrected is by transferring his soul into a bloodline member, basically. And we get introduced to those characters, and I thought they were likable characters. I mean, like I say, Jason's putting his soul into these different bodies one by one. You know, there's a scene in the house, you know, where Jason's possessed this one person. You can see Jason's reflection in the mirror, you know, while he's possessing this one person. There's a huge body count, and I've got to say there's some memorable kills in this. I mean, I love the camping kill where that guy and that girl are having sex in the tent, and Jason gets his fence pole, stabs into this woman, and slashes her right across, you know, the fucking torso area. So she's like, she gets split in two. That was a really great makeup effect. I love the diner scene also, where Jason's causing havoc at the diner. You know, we get cops with their two heads being smashed together. You know, the woman who owns the diner, she gets a very brutal death. You know, so the deaths in this Friday the 13th entry are very brutal, and they're very full heads on. And I thought they did a great job with the makeup effects. It's very bloody, very gory. And throughout the movie, it's like Jason putting his soul into different bodies one by one, but he's going against the lead characters who are his bloodline, basically. And the film did get kind of weird up to the point, you know, like in the ending scene where it's all taking place in that house. They get introduced to the dagger and, of course, the Book of the Dead, you know, from the Evil Dead, you know, and there's also that guy who gets framed for the murder of his wife. And, you know, while he's in the cell, he gets introduced to that guy who tells him all about Jason's past and the bloodline, snapping his fingers one by one. You know, it'll cost you, you know. So there's a bit of humour in this movie, you know. So I had a fun time with this movie, everybody. I mean, I can't understand everyone's hatred towards the movie just because it's different. The whole fact that Jason is becoming like Chucky in this movie, you know, where he's putting his soul into different bodies, and you know he's got to get out the bodies that he's in, you know, because he wants to become whole again. So this movie had like a mixture of everything, a mixture of Child's Play, The Evil Dead, you know, it had a mixture of everything. It was like seeing Jason in a whole new different light, you know, and you couldn't have really picked a better ending for this movie. I mean, I love the ending of this movie, you know, because Jason does get impaled with the dagger, and he does get pulled down to hell. There's no better way how you can get rid of Jason once and for all by having him pulled down to hell, because these hands come out of the floor and they pull Jason down. And who can forget the shocking ending, you know, where Freddy Krueger raises his glove out the fucking floor and pulls down Jason's mask and doing the historical laugh. Can you imagine the cinema reaction back in them days, you know, when that happened for the very, very first time? I mean, I've said this from time and time again, I was born at the wrong time, you know, I really wish I was born through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, when the likes of Child's Play was coming out, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Evil Dead. I really wish I was, you know, going out through the time, you know, growing up through all the times when them movies were coming out. You could imagine the huge pop in the cinema, like say, we're finally going to get Freddy versus Jason, you know, with an ending like that, you know. Sadly, that didn't happen until 2003, because Freddy vs. Jason came out in the year 2003, if you remember. And since then, you know, you had Jason X coming out, you know, to keep things fresh. You had Wes Craven's New Nightmare, you know, for Freddy, and the whole build-up for Freddy vs. Jason was happening, but You know, it took as long as 2003 to actually make the movie due to different reasons. You know, so overall, this movie, the hatred that it got, I thought was unnecessary. You know, I could defend this movie all day long. I don't think it's a bad flick just because you made it different. You know, just because sometimes differences is what you need in a franchise to keep the character smooth or refreshing. You know, I had no problem with Jason possessing people. You know, it's totally out of character. I understand that, but when you're talking about change, and then you put something new into different into something like that, sometimes it's like a good idea. And like I say, it's going to work for some people, and for some people it's not. But it worked well for me. When I think of the whole Friday the 13th franchise, I'd say the poorest one is Jason X, and then Manhattan. But all the rest of the movies are just like classics, and I really had a good time with the Friday the 13th movies. You know, and in fact, I should dare say this movie, Jason Goes to Hell, I have to say it's like my second or third favourite in the franchise. Yeah, you heard me, my second or third favourite. My favourite one would probably have to be possibly The New Blood. Yeah, then this movie. Yeah, and I even like it more than the classics, so I'll even admit to that. But like I say, we're all different, everyone. That's what makes us all unique. We're all into different things, and we've all got different opinions on movies and things like that. But Jason Goes to Hell, you know, there's even a lot of die-hard Jason fanatics who can't stand this movie. But like I say, movies are not for everybody. You know, you're going to get everyone who's going to get different opinions on different movies. And this movie, The Final Friday, really had its big portions of haters, and it also had its pushers up. You know, a huge portion of people who loved the movie as well, and I was one of them. So I'm really glad that I watched it moments ago. I mean, I had a fun time. I thought it was action-packed, bloody, gory. You know, I thought Kane Hodder did a great job of playing Jason yet again. I like the introduction of the new characters. You know, in Jason's bloodline, they were likeable characters. Love the death scene in the diners. Love the camping scene of the girl having sex with having the pole ripped through her. The bashing scores of the police officers. You know, so I thought it was fine. You know, nothing wrong with Jason Goes to Hell in my opinion. And again, a right way for Jason to go out by being pulled into hell by him being impaled by the dagger. And just before the credits roll, Freddy Krueger pulls down Jason's mask, you know, down to the ground with him, and you know, satisfied. You know, it was a satisfying movie. The one I didn't like, of course, was Jason X. I've got to fucking review that next. Jesus Christ, that's the one movie I don't like. So stay tuned for that. But thanks for watching this, everybody. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions. What do you think about Jason Goes to Hell? Do you think it's a bad movie just because it was different? Do you have your thoughts, your opinions? I'd like to hear them. So please leave them in the comment section below, and we'll see where we go from here. Thanks for watching this, everybody, and give this movie a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do what you're going to do. And like I say, please leave some comments and thoughts. Hopefully we can get some feedback on this video. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.